Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching my weekly reading for the week of January 31st through to February 6th. Well, as we're entering into February and as Mercury Retrograde is getting underway, things seem to have bogged down a bit and slowed down for us. Now, like I read a couple of weeks ago when I did my Aquarius readings, this is a time that we need to get back on track. We can't be bogged down by the heaviness of this new month, Mercury Retrograde, and the ongoing sluggishness that we're facing. It's time to get ourselves moving again, moving in the right direction. And that's what I want to focus in on this week. How we can use this time to our advantage. Yes, Mercury is in retrograde, and I do have a reading specifically for Mercury retrograde. However, because Mercury is in retrograde, we do have some opportunities that we don't necessarily always have, because Mercury can overpower and overshadow some of these opportunities. We have a unique advantage in embracing these opportunities that are going to support us in a shift and getting ourselves going again. So that's, of course, what I want to focus in on. And yes, like always, I will look at the week as a whole, what you can expect, some of those stumbles, and how we can overcome them with greater ease. The decks I've chosen for this reading, I had to go with the Everyday Witch Tarot and Oracle combination. I absolutely love this combination. These are such playful and energetic cards that I felt would really inspire us and get us out of this funk. Then, of course, I've topped it off with the Creative Visions Sovereign Oracle deck, just to give us that added flair. And like always, there are links below to all these beautiful decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. The selections, of course, we have some Carnelian, Rose Quartz, and Clear Quartz. I want you to choose whichever crystal is resonating with you right now. It may not be your favorite crystal, but it is the crystal that you can't keep your eyes off of that is speaking to you right now. And then head into the description box below. There you're going to find timestamps. Click on the crystal's correlating timestamp. It's going to take you straight to your reading, and I will see you there, my friends. Hello and welcome, my Carnelian friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week has in store for my Carnelian friends. What can my Carnelian friends expect from the week of January 31st through February 6th? Learn from life. We never stop learning. We should actually never stop anyway, even if we're not in school. We should continue to learn and evolve. And life, well, that's going to be your biggest teacher. It's up to us to pay attention to what it is your life and your everyday is trying to teach you, trying to share with you. We all have patterns that we need to break. We all have experiences that we signed ourselves up for. some of them more challenging than others. However, we wanted to experience and learn from them. If we stick our head in the sand and try and drown things out, we're missing those opportunities. We need to take the time, be in the present, and be open to these opportunities. And Mercury retrograde can kind of crash things down on us, helping to very clearly show us where some of those learning opportunities are. They may be challenging, but they're opportunities to learn and grow. Once we've learned our experience or aspect that we're trying to learn, once we've learned what it is this experience or event is trying to teach us, or we have learned from the experience that we signed up for, we can carry on. We can move forward. However, we can't do that right now. We're not truly open to the experience. We're too caught up. Either we're stuck in the past, or we're hyper-focusing in on the future. We're not present in our everyday, what's happening in the here and now, what's happening all around us. That's what we need to focus in on this week. Focus in on the opportunities and learning experiences that this week has in store for us. Not all of them are going to be challenging. Some are going to be uplifting and exciting. Let's get a little bit more clarity. Let's get some insight into this learning. What should my Carnelian friends focus in on this week? I love it. Undo, Control, Alt, Delete. Take the stitches out and do it again. You'll be much happier with the final outcome. Untie a stubborn knot before you proceed. Reminding us very clearly that we need to learn this experience, learn this lesson, break the patterns before we can take off, before we can get going again, get ourselves back on track. We know that 2020 really derailed the majority of us. It's time to break some patterns, get ourselves unstuck, and get ourselves going again. Aquarius was very clear, and if you haven't seen my readings for Aquarius, I really encourage you to do so. It's an important tool to support you in embracing these opportunities, embracing what is happening in the here and now. But Aquarius wants to get us back on track. And to do that, we need to learn, sort of Control, Alt, Delete the pattern. We need to learn that lesson, clearly put in better stitching, be more happy and proud of what it is we've accomplished, and then get ourselves going. You'll find things start to fall into place because you're not being weighed down by those challenges of the patterns that are holding us back. And we all have patterns, multiple of them. We're not paying attention to them. They're building. It's time to break them. Of course, like I said earlier, Mercury retrograde is going to support us in breaking these patterns. Mercury retrograde likes to be very clear about some of the challenges that we're facing. So let's see how we can learn and start to break some of these patterns. Let's get into this week. What can my Carnelian friends, that card, expect from the beginning of the week? the Ten of Wands. Tens, of course, are about endings and beginnings. And I like how we have the Ten of Wands coming up at the beginning of the week. It talks about how we're going to begin things off by addressing them, starting to reflect in and understand what is burning us out, what is weighing us down. That's going to help us bring it to an end. Help us to learn that life lesson that keeps coming up. Taking time at the beginning of the week to start to reflect in. Understand this burden and start to use our critical thinking skills and assessment skills to understand how we can start to lessen this load, declutter and deburden us so we feel lighter and more able to engage and get back on that path, get back on track. So the beginning of the week, my Carnelian friends, I want you to start that reflection. This is a fantastic time to get out that spiritual binder. And if you're new to my channel and don't know what I'm talking about, I'm encouraging people to tuck away their spiritual journals, those tiny little books that aren't really supportive and conducive to our life learning, and start a binder. You can add in a lot more. You have more flexibility with the binder rather than a small book. You can create a tab on reflection and start to keep that section. What it is you're understanding about yourself, about your journey, about what it is you're trying to achieve. That reflection will give you a clearer direction than what we're dealing with, what we're understanding right now. Taking that time, and it doesn't have to be full force every day, all day. A little bit of time, balancing things out. We don't want to add more burden to us. We want to take some time for us, reflect in on what's happening right here, right now, and that burden, how we're feeling, what we're carrying. That's going to help give us a clearer direction on what it is we need to start to shift out of and to start to restitch. Let's go into the middle of the week. What can my Carnelian friends expect from the middle of the week? The Seven of Pentacles. Now, sevens, they can be a bit of a challenge and a bear. However, with some work, you can be victorious. Sevens are a lucky number. Sevens, of course, mean that we can succeed, that we can be victorious over what we're dealing with. So, that reflection is going to give us some direction. We need to start to work on that direction. We don't want to just drop all our wands. We need to start to rejig and reformat what we're doing and ask for the help that we need. If we start to try and drop all our wands, what's going to happen is we're going to regress. We're going to tumble backwards. That's not going to help us. Leaps of faith and big changes, they're not sustainable. We have that tendency to regress. However, like I said earlier, those shifts, they're going to be more sustainable. So we can start working on those shifts. Start implementing a plan on how we can get the help and support that we need. How we can reformat what it is we're doing so we can break those patterns. Start with baby steps. start one piece at a time so you don't feel even more overwhelmed. That steady, progressive step, it's going to help you out in the long run a lot more than that big drop and change. So the middle of the week, we want to start to put that plan into action. How can we start to deburden ourselves, declutter ourselves, and then start to focus in on that learning, focus in on that growth and that development of self on that physical, spiritual, and emotional planes. We're not just a simple flat picture. We're dynamic. We're multi-energetical, multi-generational. We're an amazing creation. We need to work on all aspects of self so that all aspects of self can grow and develop and thrive. When we have that balanced perspective, that's when we feel stronger. We feel more better physically, emotionally, and spiritually. They start to work together. That is what we need to start to put into play in the middle of the week. Start to get those balls flowing in symmetry rather than at odds with each other. The more balanced we are, the stronger we feel, and the more we're going to be able to learn, grow, and develop. Let's move forward and see what the end of the week brings you. What can my Carnelian friends expect from the end of the week? Awesome! The World, the 21st card in the Major Arcana. We're talking about endings and beginnings. The World encourages you to embrace and enjoy all that you've overcome, all that this chapter has brought you. Taking that deep breath and pause as we get excited and we have that anticipation of what's to come. Like I said, with that symmetry and balance of self, we're going to be able to fully engage with what it is that's being offered to us, what it is we're supposed to learn and experience. So, with decluttering and deburdening ourselves, starting to bring in that balance, even those slow, steady steps there are going to bring about a big shift for you. Acknowledging and starting to work on it, it starts to shift perspectives. You start to shift energies, and that brings in some amazing opportunities. These opportunities that are going to bring in more abundance, more growth, and most importantly, more joy and happiness into your everyday. This week offers you some amazing opportunities. It's up to us to put in that work and engage with what is right in front of us. So, this is our week, and of course, with every week, we have obstacles. Let's look at them right now so that we can identify them and overcome them with greater ease. What obstacles will my Carnelian friends face for the week of January 31st through February 6th? The Emperor, the fourth card in the Major Arcana. And we're looking at that stability. We're looking at that strength to carry out what it is we need to do. The Emperor is that divine masculine energy. That masculinity helps give us that courage, that determination to push ourselves forward, to persevere over that burden, to connect in with what it is that this week offers us, these opportunities, these amazing possibilities. We're going to feel unstable. We're going to feel unsure. Our ego is going to amplify this uncertainty through fear, through heartache. We need to use our skills, our abilities, and our tools to shift the emperor from an obstacle of uncertainty and self-doubt into that of an ally of support, stability, and strength. Ways that we can do that, of course, we can use crystals to our advantage. So something like tiger iron, something like obsidian, to give you that strength, to help protect you, help being able to reflect in and start to make those little shifts in your life. I also have a number of meditations that would support you in engaging with this strength, with this protection, with this support that we need. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know about my meditations, I have 2 playlists. I have an Archangel Healing playlist, and then I also have my Just You and Me playlist that has tools to support you in this journey. I have links below to both playlists, and you can use these playlists to your advantage. These are free guided meditations that I've created to support you in exactly what we're facing, those challenges and obstacles, so that you can embrace in these opportunities, engage in the learning that we need. So a few that resonate with me very clearly. Of course, I've got that beautiful meditation with Archangel Michael, where we looked at that strength. That strength is so needed right now. It's going to help us with feeling that divine masculine energy. It's going to help invigorate us so we feel more able to do what it is we want to do. Additionally, I also have a protection meditation under my Just You and Me playlist. We are looking at Mercury Retrograde. It's going to add to that instability. The protection meditation underneath my Just You and Me series, it helps to create an energetical bubble that will support you in combating some of these energies that are in play right now. We have the heaviness of what's happening to us globally. We've got Mercury Retrograde and all the chaotic energies that come with Mercury Retrograde. This energetical bubble will support you in not being so impacted by it. It really helps my highly sensitive friends to engage with their day. It's a nice, quick guided meditation that helps connect into that divine masculine, divine feminine, and also Archangel Michael to add in that extra protection. Additionally, to help with that stability, I have a beautiful meditation I did with Archangel Ariel, where we ground you like you've never been grounded before. You feel stable and secure. We need that right now. That stability, that groundedness, that earthiness. It helps us to feel able to understand what we need and to go forward in what's to come. Anytime we feel unstable or unsure, or we start to have that kind of wobbly feeling, ground yourself. Use tiger iron and obsidian to your advantage. These tools, they'll support you. They'll help you make some high vibrational decisions for your greater good. We need that emperor in the upright position rather than in that challenge position that he's going to be currently in, especially in the beginning of the week. Taking that time right in the beginning with that meditation, with that groundedness, it's going to support you in setting your week up right. helping you to calm your inner self, helping to balance out that brain so you're using both spheres of your brain rather than that one favored side. Really helps to support you in setting things up to your advantage. So let's go on to some blessings, some other supports that you can use to your advantage for this week. What blessings can my Carnelian friends embrace for the week of January 31st through February 6th? Speak your mind. Now, it's not so much that we have to worry about communicating with others. The opportunities that we're looking at this week is learning from life, learning for ourselves. So with that and Mercury Retrograde, this is more about being truthful to you. You need to be honest with you. The more honest you are, the more you're going to understand. We don't need to puff ourselves up or make ourselves look better than what we may actually be functioning from. That's an ego-based tactic to puff and fluff ourselves up. We need to be honest with self so that we are able to embrace what we're dealing with. If we're not truthful to self, we're going to miss out on some really important factors that are going to impact our learning and our growth. We need to be honest, and that can be pretty challenging. It's pretty hard to get to that bare bones. Taking the time for you, giving yourself permission, and honoring you for where you are right now. You know that it's not working so well, and we want to make some changes. So we need to be honest with ourselves so that you can make those changes. No one else needs to know. We just need to be honest with us so that we can make the fullest and most well-rounded decision for us. Make a move. Like I said, in the middle of the week, we want to start to put action to our plan. Even if we're not too sure what that plan's going to look like, if it's not as clear as we'd hoped, we need to put action to things. The more we ruminate on this, the more stagnant and stuck we get. It's important to make that first step. Like I said, we only need to make small shifts, small steps. We're not looking at dropping everything and starting over again. We don't want to scrap what we're dealing with. We have lived through a lot. We've done some amazing things. We don't want to lose that. We want to build off of that. So making some high vibrational positive choices for us, and then starting to act on them. Starting to put that wheel in motion. When we start to take these baby steps forward, soon enough, we've made that change. And the best part is that we haven't aggravated our ego. We're not causing ourselves undue pain and fear. It's small, steady shifts that are easy to maintain and sustain. We're not looking at regressing backwards. We're looking at moving forwards. Small, steady is a lot better than leaps and bounds that cause you to tumble backwards. So let's end off on what further insight and guidance we can get to support you in connecting in with this week a bit more. What additional insight, wisdom, and guidance can we share with my Carnelian friends for the week of January 31st through February 6th. The Ace of Wands. Aces are a gift, and that wand is that inner passion. The Ace of Wands really reminds me of that match that's about to be struck, that is about to ignite into that flame, that burst of excitement and enthusiasm. Very much connects back into the world, and it also connects in to this burden. Because as we start to identify and reflect on what we're carrying that's holding us back, we're going to be able to find little branches and twigs that remind us and rekindle that passion that we've lost over the last little while. 2020 has been a bear, and life has started to weigh heavy on us. We need that connection of passion, that creativity, and that light to help, lighten our path to where it is we want to go. We don't know right now where that is. We can't see past what we're carrying. We need to allow that passion to burn bright, to connect back in to those pieces and aspects that bring in that fulfillment and joy, allowing you to express you, to create and enjoy life. Creativity does not mean arts and crafts. Creativity means whatever activity allows you to express you in a meaningful way. That's what we need to connect in with right now. That's going to help you identify this burden and identify what work you want to do. What is going to help release some of this burden and start to manage what it is we're carrying. We've forgotten us and what's important. It's time to rekindle that. Ten of Pentacles. This 10 is a family card. It's funny, there's obviously 4 10s, and 2 of the 10s are family cards, the Pentacles and the Cups, reminding us that our family helps to ground us. Now, I know that not every family is as stable and supportive as others. Family is much more than your birth family. It's those important people in your life. It's those individuals that support you, that acknowledge you and love you for you, and want to see you grow and develop. They're positive and balanced, healthy relationships. These are relationships on our physical plane and spiritual plane. We have them if we look for them. Some of them, again, have been buried in what we're carrying and what we're dealing with. It's time to connect back into these positive relationships and add to that stability that we're needing so much right now. Now, we do have double 10s. In angel messages, when you have that multiple 10 come forward, the angels are telling you that this is a time of personal development and spiritual enlightenment, which is very true. It very much sums up what this week is offering you. We need this development. We need this growth. We need this learning to help us forward. And finally, the Page of Pentacles. That childlike energy that's full of enthusiasm and excitement. that need for learning and exploring. We need that enthusiasm and inquisitive energy to support us in what we're looking at. When we allow our inner toddler out to get to the heart of the matter, well, there's not much that can handle that toddler inquisition. We need to ask those hard questions so that we can grow and we can develop from them. Like I said earlier, we need to be very truthful to ourselves. The more truthful we are, the more we're going to get from it. And that inner toddler, that inquisition, it's going to get you that answer that you need to help you with the direction you need to go. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, and it helps to start to raise that collective energy into a higher vibration. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, healing, and education is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to support me in making more, I do have a Patreon page. It's got lots of tiers and perks that's full of free healings and readings just for you. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Carnelian friends. Hello and welcome, my rose quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my rose quartz friends. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the week of January 31st through February 6th? What a fantastic card. Rebirth and reinvention. It is time that these small little shifts, they're starting to make a difference. You're starting to see those changes coming forward. And if you can't see that right now, this week, of course, is going to highlight these changes. How these little shifts that we've been talking about are starting to add up. We're starting to see that change. What we've needed for some time. This change, of course, is going to support us in further development and growth. It's only one leg of our journey. We're seeing that next chapter coming up and coming forward for us. We need to use this time to give ourselves that pause and really embrace what it is we've done, how we've been able to make positive choices for us, and, well, all that hard work we've done. We're reaping the rewards of what we've done for us and for ourselves. Let's get a little bit more information. What should my rose quartz friends focus in on this week? I love how the cat here is like, oh, she's coming out of the water. Ooh, look, she's all shiny. And don't be surprised if people are going to comment on how different you are. Yet, they can't put their finger on it. Did you do something different with your hair? Have you lost weight? What's happening for you? That perspective change, those shifts, like I said, they're adding up. We're starting to see us connect in with us. We're becoming more comfortable in our skin, connecting in to that more authentic self. And we may not feel like we're there yet. Like I said, this is only one step of the journey. We're going to have to keep pushing forward, keep connecting in more deeply as we go forward. Right now, though, we need to bask in all that we've done. And if you're new to my channel and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? This is part of it. Connecting in and gaining that support and insight. It's going to go a long way in that continued progression. We start to raise our vibration. We start to really enjoy and connect in with what's happening right now and all around us. I love this sassy little deck. Collection. Create a body of work. Explore and collect creations of other artists for inspiration. Gather the financial resources to take it to the next stage. We have a lot of elements here. We're not going to need so much financial resources. We need the energetical resources to continue this evolution, this body of work, if you will. This work, it's us. It's that connection. It's who it is we are. We're embracing our power. We're embracing our abilities. And we're allowing them to shine brightly and light our path. We need to continue on working in this amazing project, this project of ourselves. So let's look at this week a bit more. How is it going to connect into this project and to embracing all the work we've done and connecting into all the work that we've done and achieved? So let's get into this week a bit more. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the beginning of the week? Oh yeah, the Hermit. So not surprising. The 9th card in the Major Arcana talks about that reflection and that inner journey, helping us to really identify some of the work that we've done, some of that progression and changing that we've seen. And if you are new to my channel, you'll find out very quickly how I'm a big supporter of small baby steps, little shifts, because those little steps and shifts, they start to add up. And what's more, they're more stable and maintainable than major shifts. So this small, steady progression, it's time to get connected in and see how it's impacted you and your life. And what's more, gain direction. What other areas of you and your life need a little bit of extra love, a little bit of extra energy and attention? We are a multifaceted, multidimensional being. We have so many areas of self. It's important that all areas gain that added attention and love. So, what other areas do you need to work on? What other areas need your undivided attention? Now, one big part of this, because this is small, steady steps, guys, we don't want to get hyper-focused in on this. We want to spend a little bit of time here and there connecting into this, working on that spiritual aspect, working on that emotional aspect, and we can't forget the physical aspect. If we hyper-focus in too much on one area, well, we're going to find that destabilizes us and slows what we're trying to achieve. And that is one of the ways our ego is going to try and stop us this week. Because our ego, it's hating this. This is just not in its okay world. So, don't be surprised if your ego doesn't resist that reflection, that embracement, and for the love of God, we don't want to create any more. Your ego can't handle it, right? It's going to throw that resistance of fear and heartache right back at you to diminish this flame and to take away some of the luster. When this is occurring, what we need to do is work on that stability and groundedness. As you can see in this hermit, she's sitting very stable on the floor. That connection and groundedness is going to be essential. Now, one of the ways I can support you with this is through a meditation I did with Archangel Ariel. And if you're new to my channel and don't know about my meditations, they're amazing. I love them. These are free meditations for you to visit and revisit as you need. I have 2 playlists of them, and there's links below to both these playlists. I have my Healing with the Archangels playlist, where we work on some healing, some clearing, so you feel stronger and more able to continue on with what it is you're trying to achieve. The next one is my Just You and Me playlist, where you and I sit down and I guide you through a meditation that supports you, increasing your amazing repertoire of tools to overcome those challenges. Now, like I said, both of these are free guided meditations for you to visit and revisit as you need. Now, back to Archangel Ariel. She's a fantastic archangel that's going to help ground you like you've never been grounded before, helping to release barriers and heal so that you are able to connect in more fully to self. It's a fantastic meditation. Like I said, they're about 30 minutes, so they easily fit into your everyday, whenever it is you need, where you're not hyper-focusing in and having to allot a lot of time to something that then turns into a burden rather than a benefit. So, the beginning of the week, we need that reflection, some meditation, and connection. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my rose quartz friends expect from the middle of the week? Awesome. The Fool. The Fool is the 0 card in the Major Arcana. Carefree, fun-loving, amazing energy. And it's in this carefree excitement, that trust in the universe, that trust in self, that excitement for your journey. That is what this reflection and connection is going to help you with. Like I said, this is only one aspect of your journey. We now have that next step. And no, I know that the Fool talks about that leap of faith. That's not what we're talking about here. It's more that energy and excitement for those next steps forward. The middle of the week, we're going to have that ability to tap into some amazing energies that are going to invigorate us and opportunities that are going to support us in taking those next steps forward, helping us to continue our work. we need to be present and mindful for them, making sure we're not focusing in or hyper-focusing in on the future or getting stuck in the past. We need to be in the here and now and excited for what the here and now is bringing us. So the middle of the week, we're looking at that excitement, those next steps forward. So we're going to go forward on to the end of the week. What does the end of the week bring, my rose quartz friends? The Six of Wands. I thought for sure you guys were going to do a clean sweep of major arcana, but we got pretty close. Major arcana are major life issues. They're the bigger energies. Whereas the minor arcana are everyday aspects of these energies. The Six of Wands talks about that balance that I was talking about at the beginning of the week. That balance is going to be imperative. The more balanced we are throughout this week, the more reward we'll get at the end. The Six of Wands talks about being victorious, a champion. Well, if we can keep that balanced energy throughout this week, the more victorious we're going to be. The more connected in we're going to be with those next steps, that next chapter. So, keeping that balanced standpoint and frame is going to be helpful for you to move forward and truly embrace what this week is offering you. I do have a couple more meditations that I'm going to recommend. The first one is a meditation I did with Archangel Sandalphon. It was a rebalancing and harmony meditation, helping to bring in that peace and calm while balancing you out. It's a fantastic meditation to help with that inner calm, help to balance you out, and connect you in to that peaceful, high vibrational energy of the universe. Again, as it's one of my Archangel meditations, we're looking at some release and healing as well. Another meditation I'm going to suggest is in my Just You and Me playlist. It's a balancing meditation. It's a meditation where I support you in balancing out your chakra system. That chakra has a lot to do with your energies, your health, and how you're feeling. It's a nice, gentle meditation that helps you connect into your different chakras, all 7 of them, helping to align them, helping to support you in feeling stronger, and providing you with more energy. When the chakra system is flowing better and it's more aligned, you have more energy. It's not getting caught up in the twists and turns that occur as we get unaligned. So, both meditations, they're easy to bring in, and whichever one resonates with you the most, you can connect in with and utilize to your advantage this week. So, this is what your week offers you. We do have one more element though. We do have the challenge of the week. Whereas this is what the week offers, there's always that flip side of the coin, that challenge. Because, well, we're human. We don't accept things on face value. We don't take the easy route. We like to complicate things. So, what challenge will my rose quartz friends face for the week of January 31st through February 6th? The King of Cups. Now, kings are the fully defined personality of their suit. And the cups, well, they're connected into emotion and intuition. We're going to be on an emotional roller coaster. We are in full swing Mercury Retrograde. There's a lot of emotions in play. A lot of ups and downs. It's going to already add on to that burden of what we were already dealing with the emotional roller coaster of COVID, of everything else that we're dealing with. So, we're going to have that emotional instability. We're going to need to be focused in on that. Now, like I said, that grounding and that stability starts to calm this king. He's regaining some of his control here. We're going to be able to see, as we set intentions and work at it, that we turn the king from an obstacle to an ally. The more we focus in on it, the more we look at that balance, that stability, the more you turn that kind of chaotic energy, you calm it, and you start to harness it and use it to your advantage, supporting you in connecting into that high vibrational, intuitive energy, gaining that calm and stability that you need to support you in going forward. This rebirth, this reinvention, it's all based in that water. Anytime you see water in tarot or oracle, you're looking at that intuitive energy, that reconnection in to your intuitive abilities. And yes, everybody has intuitive abilities. It's something that we have shut down over the years. It's time to reconnect in and strengthen your natural abilities. So, with some work, like we said, with some balancing and some grounding, you're going to find that that king turns from an obstacle to an ally, supporting you with this week. So let's look at what else can support you. Let's go into some blessings. What blessing can my rose quartz friends embrace for the week of January 31st through February 6th? Prosperity and abundance. As we connect into these opportunities, as we connect into our abilities, we embrace this amazing self, well, the more prosperity and abundance we'll have. The universe rewards us for our hard work, supporting us with those abundances, that prosperity, not only on that financial and material aspects, but in all aspects of life. Additionally, you'll find that the universe starts to support us by adding in added supports. You find that individuals and beings start to pop out of the woodwork, supporting you with, well, further prosperity and abundance, helping you to calm the seas even more in different ways, combining your abilities and talents with theirs. That reward, well, that's amazing. The universe wants to help us in continuing our growth. Doesn't want to see us without. It just needs us to put that work in so that it can reward us for what it is we're doing. Imagine and envision. Well, we're the ones holding ourselves back. Whatever it is that you're imagining or hoping for, well, I can tell you the universe, it has a greater plan than what we have. We need to use that amazing creativity and connection to our advantage. When we start to imagine and envision things and we start to be creative, well, that's when the high vibrational beings connect in and support us most. We're not focusing in on those rough seas, on the challenges that we're facing. We're focusing in on what we're creating, what we're imagining, how we're expressing ourselves. And no, it does not mean that you have to draw or you have to be artistic. It's whatever method or modality you use to express yourself. Creativity is an individual piece and cannot be limited or labeled. We need to express ourselves. We need to get out of our head, get out of our way, so the universe can support us even more. So, taking that time, and during our week, I know we're really busy, but scheduling in just a little bit of time to connect into that creative aspect. Whatever that looks like for you, so that you can start to what we call channel or bring forward those messages, that insight and wisdom that's going to support you on your individual journey. Support you with your individual intuitive abilities. So, taking that time and giving yourself permission to have some fun. I know, hard work, right, guys? So, speaking of work, we're going to continue on and end off this reading on any further insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my rose quartz friends for the week of January 31st to February 6th. The Seven of Wands. Like I said earlier, your ego, it's not going to be happy about this. Change, rebirth, creativity, it's not words your ego really enjoys. You will have that resistance. And it's a resistance that we have overcome in the past. And we may not have known it, but it was when we were really pushing ourselves and encouraging ourselves forward. We need to take that time and calm that inner battle. Of course, meditation will support you with that. And again, creativity will support you in doing that because you're getting out of your head. You're getting into something that is fun. It's a way of clearing out your mind. So, using your skills and abilities and those tools to support you in calming that inner battle. We don't want to start to poke our ego or try and battle it. It's kind of a lose-lose situation because you're starting to focus in and take away your energy from what's important in the week and give it to your ego. What we need to do is shift your energies, your perspective to something that is more life-giving and fun than kind of life-sucking, if you will. So that perspective is important. Additionally, like I did say, we are in Mercury Retrograde. So there is going to be that conflict, those interpersonal challenges, and of course, those computer problems. So we will have some added burden this week. We're in the first full week of Mercury Retrograde. So we have a couple more weeks of this. We need to understand that that energy is there, and we need to, again, make choices for our greater good. I do have a video on using Mercury Retrograde to your advantage. I know it sounds crazy, but true, you can. Mercury Retrograde does give you the opportunity to embrace possibilities that aren't usually there. Because Mercury in itself is an energy to be reckoned with, and it has a tendency to overshadow or overpower other opportunities because Mercury sings and resonates so brightly. So we can use this time to our advantage. However, we have to understand that there are some challenges that come with it. Well, here's your third major arcana. Death, the 13th card in that suit. Of course, death does not actually mean death. It's a myth. Death is a release and transition card. Death is here to support us in shaking free some of this conflict, some of this stuff that's holding us back. Because there's a lot of it. We all have that baggage. It's time to release some of that baggage so that we can really embrace this next chapter, these next steps forward. The Fool is about new beginnings. We're at that beginning of a new chapter. We need to release what's holding us back so we can delve deeper into this chapter, bringing out more meaning, more fulfillment, and more abundance for you. Now, I know it sounds hard to release. Like, really, how do you do that? I do have a meditation that I did with Archangel Metatron, and that's what we solely focused in on. Releasing that heartache and that fear that has been brought on by our ego. Past experiences that we're holding on to. Past burdens. Well, death is here. Let's use it to our advantage. Let's release and heal so that we can dive deeper into this. We can get more out of what we're currently looking at. And then finally, the Eight of Swords. What it is we need to release. That heartache, that pain that's holding us back. Now, swords in a suit, it's about knowledge. Now, that's all good to say. However, we're emotional beings. We don't just take knowledge for knowledge's sake. We're not Vulcan. We're not like Mr. Spock that can say, well, that's illogical, Captain Kirk. No, we're emotional beings. We attach emotion to events and situations. When it's high vibrational and happy and joyous, well, that inspires us. It pushes us forward. When it's low vibrational, it's full of fear and heartache, well, it causes stagnation. So, we need to release what's not working for us. We need to learn from those experiences. We need to start breaking the patterns that keep bringing up these swords for us so that we can truly embrace that amazing, beautiful, authentic self. We're here to learn. We're here to experience. We're not here to pen ourselves in and get stuck. So, we need to start to release. We need to start to grow and develop. That is what this week is offering us. That opportunity to continue that evolution and creation of self. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, and it helps to start to raise that collective energy into a higher vibration. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, healing, and education is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to support me in making more, I do have a Patreon page. It's got lots of tiers and perks that's full of free healings and readings just for you. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my rose quartz friends. Hello and welcome, my clear quartz friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the tarot and both oracle cards here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week has in store for my clear quartz friends. What can my clear quartz friends expect from the week of January 31st through to February 6th? Strength and resilience. This week is going to bring you many opportunities to learn, to strengthen your skills and abilities, and overcome some adversity. We're in full swing Mercury Retrograde, and it does usually feel like this whirlwind. We're kind of caught in this weird vortex where people aren't communicating what they really mean. People aren't receiving what should be shared. And, well, then you have computer problems on top of everything else. Not to mention, many of us are exasperated and burnt out from the ordeals that we're dealing with globally. There's a lot going on. We have the ability to shine this week. Like I said, it's important that we use our skills and our abilities to our advantage, using our creativity to shape and remold some of these abilities to suit us better. We have that ability to use our strength and our resiliencies to overcome these challenges, to learn from them, and to grow. It may be a bit of a battle, but it's one that we're going to really learn from. We're going to be able to connect in with abilities that we may have forgotten, that need some extra time and energy. So, this week may be a bit bumpy and a bit windy. However, once we weather that storm, we're going to be better for it. We're going to have more abilities to overcome further adversities and further challenges that are headed our way. We never signed up for this lifetime to be easy peasy. We wanted to learn, to experience, and to grow. The more we accept this growth and these opportunities, well, the more we're going to get from it. It's that resistance, that fear, and stagnation that is causing a lot of what we're dealing with. It's time to shine bright and, well, embrace these opportunities for what they are. They're opportunities of growth and development, which bring in added fulfillment and joy, and of course, abundances to support us along our path. The universe doesn't want us to do without. We need to grow, we need to keep moving forward so that the universe can reward us for our hard work. The universe will not reward us for stagnation. Actually, that's usually when we get the tower involved and we get kicked in the butt and move forward. We need to use our skills and our abilities to learn, to experience, and to grow this week. Let's get some more insight. Let's see what else this week holds for us. What should my clear quartz friends focus in on this week? Create something, use your hands, let it be perfectly imperfect. Focus on the act of creation. That creativity, like I said, is going to be important. Not only do we need that creative element to help to strengthen and sharpen our skills and abilities to overcome challenges, this creativity in making something, getting our hands dirty, getting out of our head, getting out of this whirlwind, allows the universe and the high vibrational beings to come in and support us. We're not hyper focusing in on the problem or the challenge at hand. We are focusing in on creativity, on what it is we're doing. We're getting out of our head, getting out of our way, and we're allowing those amazing opportunities to come forward. We're allowing those supports to come forward. So creativity is going to be an important part of this week. When we're starting to feel overwhelmed, when things are starting to feel really kind of chaotic, take that pause and be creative. Get your hands into something, whatever it is that resonates with you. Try something new. Create something. Allow that creative energy to flow and step outside of that comfort zone a bit. We don't have to have it perfect. It says very clearly that we need it to be imperfectly perfect. So, try something new. It's getting our hands into something, getting our head out of that swirling vortex and into something different and fun. And that fun element is just as important as that creative element. Shifting perspectives is going to support you with gaining that direction you're looking for. And that direction will help you to calm and conquer what it is we're facing. Let's see how this week's going to unfold for you. What can my clear quartz friends expect from the beginning of the week? The Six of Cups. Now, sixes are about balance and harmony, and that balance is going to be important. We don't want to hyper focus in on too many aspects here. We don't want to hyper focus in and put our blinders on to the challenges at hand. Because when we start to put our head down and just blindly go forward, we miss out on those opportunities, on what's happening in the here and now. Additionally, we don't want to get preoccupied with creating and getting our hands dirty and getting into the fun of play. Because again, we're missing out on what's happening in the here and now. We miss out on that support. We miss out on those opportunities. It's one way that our ego tries to misdirect us and mislead us. That balance is going to be essential. Taking time to create and gain that insight. And then, what's more, use it to support us through this storm. We can't do one without the other. We're not going to go forward without the creativity, without that insight and guidance. We need to balance things out, taking it one step at a time. Now, additionally, the Six of Cups talks about that reminiscing. It's a reminiscing card. We have skills and abilities, like I said, that we may have forgotten. Taking that time and getting out of our head and allowing things to come forward. Making sure, of course, that we have a pen and paper close at hand. You can scribble down those little pieces of wisdom, that nugget of insight, and reflect on it more later. Just allow it to flow freely. And then, like I said, you can go forward with it later. Now, we also can't get caught up in the past, guys. We don't want to get caught up in the burdens and the heaviness, that heartache and pain. We want to just allow ourselves to reflect in on what we've overcome, how we've overcome it, what tools and skills we've used, how they've worked, how we may have wanted to change and alter them, going back to that creativity to create something that is meaningful for us. And then kind of leaving it open. What else am I missing? Inviting the high vibrational beings to support you. And don't forget, guys, we are bound by the law of free will. They are not going to step in unless we invite them to. So before you start in that creative endeavor and that reflection, ask them. Ask them to support you. Ask them to come forward and guide you. You're bringing down that law of free will, and you're inviting them to support you in your endeavors, support you and guide you as you need. It's going to go a long way in this week and weeks to come. This insight is going to support you. It's going to help you as you go forward throughout 2021 and the years to come. This knowledge, it's going to be key. So we don't want to get caught up anywhere. We want to keep our eye on the prize. Keep our eye on the prize. Keep our eye on what's important and getting through this storm. So the storm is raging. Let's get on to the middle of the week to see how we can keep moving forward and starting to appease this storm. What can my clear quartz friends expect from the middle of the week? That's the card of 2020, the 9 of Wands. Like I said, we're kind of feeling a little bit of a pinch and burnout from 2020. Nines are about all that we've overcome, all that we've achieved. And sometimes we feel like we've been through the war. However, other times we feel strong. We feel able and determined to push ourselves forward, utilizing our strengths and our supports to our advantage. We have a support system right behind us, and we sometimes forget that they're there. They're in the physical realm and the spiritual one. It's time to use our supports to our advantage. Like I said earlier, it's important that we ask for the help, bringing down those barriers. Now, I know Mercury's in retrograde, and I know those challenges are there. However, we can ask for the help that we need. And we can make sure that our physical support team knows that we need that help. We can explain, we're feeling really frazzled. What would others suggest? And then, this is an important part, guys, clarifying once they're done. So once they finish talking, you can say, okay, so this is what I'm hearing you say. That way, you're starting to work with Mercury retrograde rather than against it, using our critical thinking skills and our tools to our advantage. We need that support right now. We're caught up in this vortexy wind. We're not too sure how to go forward. We need this reflection and this support so that we're not going to continue burning ourselves out. We're going to start to strengthen ourselves, invigorate us through that amazing support team. Now, we do have a pattern here. We have the cups right next to the wands. The cups are very intuitive cards, but they're also very creative. They tap into our intuitive creativity, whereas the wands, they're also a creative card. They tap into our passions, though. So it's that passion-based creativity. It's the yin and yang of creativity. You need both aspects to create. And we need that intuition, that higher realm guidance, with that passion, that connection we have with what we're doing, to truly make something extraordinary. And this week does offer us amazing opportunities to make extraordinary pieces in our life. It doesn't necessarily mean arts and crafts. It talks about making things. And making can mean so much. It's what is ever important for you and what's going to fit in your here and now. So, that creativity, that making, it's very important this week, which we knew beforehand, but it's very clear. It's starting off at the beginning and flowing throughout the rest of the week. All right, let's see how the week ends off for you. What can my clear quartz friends expect from the end of the week? Oh yeah. The 15th card in the Major Arcana, the Devil, or our ego. Our ego, our little devil within, causes many challenges. Actually, most of our challenges. Through misdirection, through heartache, through fear, through stagnation. The one thing that we're going to gain clarity on is how our ego is holding us back. And what's more, creative ways to overcome that ego, overcome that stagnation, releasing those nooses, and releasing some of the power that the ego has on us. Taking back some of our power through that creativity, through that passion and connection, and most importantly, through that intuition and guidance. It doesn't matter what skill level your intuition is when you're dealing with creativity. When we get out of our head, we get out of that whirlwind, that's when things start to flow. That's why it's important when we're looking at that making aspect to have that pen and paper handy. And I always find it helpful, because especially if you're getting your hands dirty and you're starting to have that gunky buildup, if you're writing stuff down, you can, if with a pen and paper, you can transfer it into a binder later. Now, if you're new to my channel and you're not too sure what I'm talking about, I'm encouraging people to tuck away those small little spiritual journals and replace it with a bigger, more functional binder. Of course, you can beautify it any way you want. However, you can add in a lot more content that's going to be flexible and meaningful for you as you go through this journey. This is not something that's going to just fit into nicely into one little book. It needs that flexibility and diversity that a binder can bring. And you can add in, and you may even want to keep that gunkiness to remind you of how that insight and wisdom came forward. Getting it down so you remember is the important aspect. Please, please, please stay away from technology when it comes to putting down this information. Technology can so easily be impacted by high vibrational beings and low vibrational beings, including our ego. That is when files become corrupted, they become missing. It's a lot harder for the low vibrational beings to impact a whole binder or book. Go old school so you don't lose this information. Some of this information is for here and now. Others, you may need to collect some more pieces, some more insight before it makes sense. So, keeping it somewhere compact and collected will help you to start to sort through all these puzzle pieces to create that mosaic of your journey. So, we need to start to combat this inner whirlwind, this vortex that stems from the devil. And I don't mean the devil himself. Obviously, we're talking about your ego. We're the ones creating these challenges that we're not seeing the patterns that are causing all these challenges for us. Now, I want to make it very clear here. We're not looking at making major changes here. We need to acknowledge them and start to move forward with this acknowledgement, with this knowledge. We need to use this knowledge to our advantage to make decisions that are going to be, of course, to our greater good. Taking things in small, steady steps. We don't want to make big shifts and changes, because that's when our ego is going to start to push hard on us. And through that fear and uncertainty and heartache, we're going to regress further backwards into what we're looking at here, giving us even more challenges and more to overcome. So, small, steady steps. We need to acknowledge the situation, know what we're dealing with, allowing the high vibrational beings to support us in starting to loosen the ego's control and power over us. Claiming back more of our power to overcome the burdens and challenges our ego brings. And then, of course, some of the challenges and burdens that we're dealing with on a personal and global scale. Now, I know we're talking about the ego here. However, that's not necessarily our only weekly challenge. Let's look at the weekly obstacle. What challenge will my clear quartz friends face for the week of January 31st to February 6th? The King of Swords. Now, kings are the fully developed personality of the suit. And that sword, well, of course, you're looking at that knowledge. Well, that's the one thing that we're going to be resistant to this week. That knowledge, that understanding. We're going to have some fear around it. But what's more is that we're not going to trust that insight and information that we're receiving. We don't fully trust ourselves and our abilities. So that uncertainty is going to start to cloud things up. We're, like I said, not going to trust ourselves. We're not going to trust that information. So we're going into a bit of a battle with shaky ground. We need to work on that connection and trusting us and our abilities. Now, one of the ways I can support you with that is through a meditation I did many months ago with Archangel Raguel. And if you're new to my channel and aren't too sure what I'm talking about, I have 2 playlists of meditations that I've created for my friends. One of them is a playlist that I've done with the archangels. I collaborate with different archangels to support you in some of your healing and that progression forward. And my other playlist is called Just You and Me, where I guide you through a meditation to support you in gaining another tool to add to your repertoire to support you in overcoming the challenges. Now, both playlists are free to you, and you can visit or revisit them as often as you need. They're guided meditations that are about 30 minutes long. They support you in overcoming obstacles and challenges. Back to the meditation I did with Archangel Raguel. It's a fantastic meditation of balance. Archangel Raguel and I work together to support you in balancing out your thoughts and beliefs of self. And it's in that belief system that is going to be your biggest challenge, because your ego isn't going to support you in just allowing things to occur this week. Your ego will resist it. So, amplifying that uncertainty. Archangel Raguel and I, we work together to help reduce and clear out some of those barriers you have for trusting you and believing in you, while healing those areas so that you are able to connect in and trust in yourself. It's a fantastic meditation that takes about 30 minutes, and it will support you in turning the King of Swords from an obstacle to an ally. Trusting in that knowledge will help you to defeat and overcome the challenges that the devil and your ego have laid before you. So, it can be a fantastic ally. We just need to coax him in to that upright position. Trusting in us will support him in turning his position. So let's look at some further supports. Let's look at some blessings. And blessings are so important. They help to remind us on what's going to be important for us to overcome the challenges, those obstacles that we're facing. What blessings can my clear quartz friends embrace for the week of January 31st to February 6th? Earth magic. And no, you don't need to be a witch or a wizard to embrace that earth magic. That stability and groundedness of Gaia can support you in connecting in to that creativity, helping to create stability within you and what you're doing. And I have a number of meditations that can support you with this grounding. I have a meditation I did with Archangel Ariel that supports you in connecting in with that groundedness and helps to ground you like you've never been grounded before. It's a fantastic meditation. Another meditation that I have is a meditation in my Just You and Me playlist. It's a quicker grounding meditation that supports you in gaining a tool to help you ground you whenever you need. Both meditations connect you into Gaia and her stability. And that's what we need right now, that stability. Another way you can connect into this earth magic is through crystals. Now, you don't need a large crystal collection. There's a couple that keep coming up, and if you've been watching my videos, I keep recommending something like a tiger iron that will support you with that stability, or black obsidian, which again supports with that stability and protection. These are easy crystals that are readily available and not necessarily too expensive. We don't need to break the bank. And sometimes the smaller pieces are actually better because you can keep them in your hand rather than having big bulky crystals that you can't hold. So, connecting into that earth magic, connecting into that stability will support you in connecting into that creativity, helping to inspire you, and also connecting you into that high vibrational energy and the insight of the high vibrational beings. Meditation for peace and serenity. Meditation is going to really support you with that inner whirlwind, that storm you're dealing with. That's why I keep recommending different meditations the more stable and calm you are within, the more you're going to be able to ride out that exterior storm. There's still a lot going on the exterior as well. So, calming the inside helps you to, conquer and weather the storm. There's a lot of scientific research on how meditation supports you, calms that breath, slows your heart rate, balances out your brain, so you're using both spheres, the right and the left, to create solutions and make decisions that are in your best interest and highest and greatest good. Meditation, I know, can be really challenging. That's why I brought out these guided meditations. There are small pieces that can easily be fit in your day, and they don't take up a lot of time. We don't need to be hyper-focused in on one aspect. Like I said, that balance, it's essential. We need to be focusing in on all aspects of self so that growth and development occurs across the board. It's an important element in trying to overcome these challenges that we're facing. So let's go on to any other insight and guidance that I can offer you for this week. What further insight, guidance, and support can we share with my clear quartz friends for the week of January 31st to February 6th? The King of Wands. We're back into that passion. Again, similar to his brother over here, the King of Wands, he fully owns his creativity, his passions. He's fully connected in to himself and what it is he can create. And that's what we need to do. We need that connection, that ownership. Allowing ourselves to explore our creativity, explore what we can do, while enjoying the results, that outcome. Allowing it to inspire and push you forward. Allow that inner light to brighten up your pathway forward. Clearing out some of the debris. Clearing out some of the scary that has started to swirl around you. That inner drive, that passion, that creativity can really support us in pushing things forward in a progressive and stable manner. When we're focusing in on that creativity, on aspects and elements that are going right, that's when we start to see things naturally shift. We're not giving energy and time to what isn't working, what's swirling around us. We're focusing in on that path forward. What makes us feel better, rejuvenates us, and inspires us. When we do that, the universe likes to reward us because we're working on what's really important. That's when the universe rewards us with abundances and added supports. That's when things start to go our way, rather than having added burden and challenge to deal with. So, having that shift in perspective is going to go a long way in calming some of that whirlwind and reducing the ego's power over you. Now, we do have the double kings. Kings are the 14th card in the minor arcana. When you have that multiple 14, the angels are telling you that this is a time of love and spiritual growth, and that you are attracting what you're focusing in on. So, be mindful of where that energy goes, on where your attention lies. The star. the 17th card in the Major Arcana. She's our hopes and dreams card. She's also another balance card. Now, in this card, it's hard to tell, but in the original card that Pamela Coleman Smith drew in the Rider-Waite deck, the star actually has one foot on the water and then one knee on the land. She is very balanced. Additionally, similar to here, she has energy flowing up to the heavens and down to the earth. That balance of energy flow. We need to be mindful of that perspective. We also need to be mindful of how things are going to start to shift and how that shift impacts future goals, hopes, and dreams. Right now, our hopes and dreams are still connected into the devil quite strongly. As we start to release his power, we're going to have to reshape what our hopes and dreams look like so that we have something to focus in on. We need to focus in on those bright stars, keeping our head held up high and keeping that direction in a forward progression. So, taking that into consideration as we go throughout this week, how is this going to impact our future goals? How do you need to amend and shift current goals, hopes, and dreams? We need to keep them current and up to where we're at. And finally, the moon, the 18th card in the Major Arcana. We're looking at that uncertainty, that mystery, the unknown. Our ego is going to bring that up. There's a lot of unknown and uncertainty in the path ahead. We have an idea of what's going to happen. The higher vibrational beings know better than what we do. However, we still have that uncertainty, that unknown, and that fear is going to slow us down. It's going to cause resistance, which is going to take some wind out of our sails. It's going to be important that when that uncertainty and that fear come forward, that we go back to that grounding, that stability. We feel the strength beneath us so that we are able to embrace this shift that's going to help us get unstuck and get us moving forward again. 2020 really derailed the majority of us. We need to get back on course so we can get back to what's really important to us and our journey. I want to thank you so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube, and it helps to start to raise that collective energy into a higher vibration. And if you did like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more coming your way. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight, healing, and education is through subscribing to my channel and hitting that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And if you did enjoy this video and you want to support me in making more, I do have a Patreon page. It's got lots of tiers and perks that's full of free healings and readings just for you. Plus, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos just for my supporters. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my clear quartz friends.